What is going on, guys? So I did something that I didn't think I ever would. I bought something. You've seen the thumbnail. You already know what it is. So here we are. 2004 Wrangler Rubicon. So I just picked this one up. 2004 Rubicon, 100,000 miles on it. It's a two-owner. The people I bought it from had owned it for 13 years and only put about 20,000 miles on it. This thing is pretty much just set in a garage. This thing is pretty mechanically sound. It does have a little bit of an exhaust leak. Could use a little bit of front end work. But other than that, it's a pretty clean Jeep for the age. So I've already done a little bit of cleaning up on this one. So it is a hard top. So when we look inside, thing is super clean. So I have always talked crap on Jeeps, especially Wranglers. They ride terrible, driving them down the road, especially if you have a soft top, they're loud, they're obnoxious. However, I was looking at something to be able to do a little off-roading. I have a lot of friends that are getting into that. Started looking around at side-by-sides, forerunners, things like that. Ran across this Rubicon, and for the price, it's the way to go. For anyone that doesn't know, the Rubicon. So that came with 16-inch wheels. I think all the rest of them this year were 15. A little bit bigger tires. These are like 30.5-inch tires. Dana 44 axles, front and back. That is the big thing, because this thing has got lockers, front and back, from the factory. If we look right down here in the center console, axle lock. So all we're doing is we're pushing that down once to lock the rear, again to lock the front. With it in four-wheel drive, you have true four-wheel drive. So all four wheels are spinning. Don't have to worry about those open diffs. Another thing about the Rubicon is these Wranglers, these TJ Wranglers, when you lift them, 3 inches or higher, you start running into driveline angles. I'll probably do a 3-inch lift on this thing, do a transfer case drop on it, keep the driveline angles right. However, anything but a Rubicon, you also need to do a slip yoke eliminator. The Rubicon had that from the factory. Now, like I said, I've done a little cleaning up on this one. So if we look at this fender, it's pretty dull, pretty rough. I've already two-step paint corrected the hood as well as this fender. So there's still some scratching in it, but you can see the shine difference. This fender looked exactly like this one did. So you can see the difference, cleaned up really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and do this fender, the same thing. For the paint correction, I removed the hood latch from the hood when I was doing it. This side, I moved the one off the fender, make that easier. However, when I went to remove this one, it was seized on there. So I actually ended up just having to cut the thing off of there. So I've got some new hood latches ordered, but I'll go ahead and get this thing paint corrected, try to make it look as good as the rest of it. Under the hood, we have got the 4-liter inline 6 engine. It's a super simple engine. These things don't make great power. You're not going to be passing anybody on the highway, but they make good torque. And this is a super reliable engine. Now, other things about this Jeep is if we get under here and look at the frame, I mean, there is hardly any rust, just surface rust. This area here is pretty common to rust on these, as well as back here. And this one looks really good for the age. Another common thing that happens on the TJ Jeeps is right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's starting to get some rust. If we come around to this side, it's even worse. We do have a spot of rust. So depending on what I want to do, these fenders just bolt on pretty easily. So at some point, if I want to, I can replace that fender, but I'm going to use this as an off-road rig, I'm not going to worry about that for now. The reason the rust happens here on top of these fenders is if we look down under here, you can see this, it's got a second piece of metal that's kind of ridged. And what happens is water will get up in between the top piece and this bottom ribbed piece, and the water just sets in there. So that's actually why these fenders are so prone to getting that rust spot. This one is almost all factory. I mean, it even still has what all the Jeep guys call the pillows. So first thing you do if you get a TJ, what I've been told, is you remove these. So might be doing that. The other thing this one has is, if we look under here, it's actually got spacers. So it's got a little bit of a lift. I think they're 2-inch spacers. It's got some Rubicon Express shocks, and then it has sway bar disconnects. Other than that, this Jeep is pretty much factory. Another benefit to the Rubicon is the transfer case. So when we put this thing into 4 low, the Rubicon has a 4-to-1 transfer case instead of a 2-to-1. So basically what that means is you're going to be able to get more torque with a Rubicon with that gear reduction in the transfer case versus a standard TJ. So definitely never been much of a Jeep guy. I've got one now, but I think being the Rubicon, these seem to hold their value a whole lot better than just a standard sport or any of the other trim levels. I also like that it's got the hard top, makes it way more enjoyable to drive. So overall, I'm happy. We'll see what I end up doing with it, if I keep it or turn around and flip it. I'm excited to get this thing out, hit some trails, play around with it. Plans for the future, clean it the rest of the way up. I'm thinking maybe a 3-inch lift with 33-inch tires. Not gonna go crazy with it. I still want it to have some on-road drivability. So probably an adjustable front track bar. The lift kit I'm looking at is a zone 3-inch lift. It comes with a relocation bracket for the rear track bar as well. Not gonna get crazy once again, but it should be a fun little project. If you want to follow along, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing videos as I work through this thing. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this fender paint corrected. I'll see you guys next time.